Hi everybody, Eric Renda here again, and today I'm here to talk to you about the Amazon Kindle. Now, I love to read, and I love physical books, but at any given time I'm reading at least 3 books. I read books for my personal growth, I read books for my job, and I like to read fiction. Now, a lot of times I also have to take notes in the books that I'm reading because I use them when I teach, I use them when I blog. Sometimes I just like to post good quotes on Facebook. So I also need to have a notebook with me. Now, I can either carry this big stack of books, which weighs 5 or 6 pounds, takes up a lot of space, or I can carry this. And this is the Amazon Kindle. And if I don't have a cover on it, it's this big and this wide. So now let's talk about what this is and why I like it so much. So let's talk about what this is and what it is not. Now, what it is not is a tablet computer, similar to an iPad or the Galaxy or something like that. Okay, Amazon has another product for that. It's called the Kindle Fire, and we may do a product review for that down the road. What you're not going to be able to do with this is download a bunch of apps and games and stuff like that. There are games that you can play on this, but they're more similar to kind of like the games you get with a standard PC, your standard Windows package, something like that. You can get on the internet like this, but all your pages are going to have this liquid paper background, so it looks a little funny. You can play MP3s on it, but I don't really do that. I don't like to eat up the memory on this because, quite frankly, I have an iPod to listen to music on. So what is it? What it is an e-reader. Now, and that's primarily what I use it for. I use it for books. I use it to hold books, and fully loaded, this thing will hold up to like 3,500 books. So I can either carry 3,500 of these, not physically possible, or I can carry this with 3,500 books on it. Probably not likely that I'm going to fill it up anytime soon, but you never know. So now that we know what it is and what it isn't, let's go ahead and talk about some of the features. Alright, now when your Kindle's turned off, you can either be all the way off where you'll have a blank page, or it's kind of in a hibernate mode where you have this screensaver. When you turn it on, first thing it does is it takes you into your library. Now the library can be either organized in the most recent books read, or it can be in alphabetical order. It's all up to you. Now, as you see in my library, up here at the top, it shows that I've got 51 items in my library. It's organized by most recent items first. My Wi-Fi is turned on, and I'm about half battery life. The last time I charged this thing up was about 2 weeks ago. The battery on this, when you turn the internet off, when you turn the Wi-Fi off, will typically last you up to about a month if you read for an hour a day, which I do. Otherwise, at about a half hour a day, it'll last you up to 2 months. To scroll through your library, you simply go through your side buttons here. Takes you forward, and then this top one will take you back. To select a book, you simply highlight the underlining of the book, and it'll take you into the book, into the latest page that you were on. So there's no bookmarks needed or anything like that. To go back to your library, just press home. And there you are. Now, I also mentioned that I like to take notes a lot when I read. So that's easy. In order to do that, just select your book, or as you're reading, you press your up or down buttons and your directional buttons right here to pull up your cursor. If you select down, the cursor is going to come out on the top of the book. Up, it's going to come out from the bottom. So we're just going to move down. Select move over to the area where you want to begin your highlight. Press your select button, which brings up the italicized cursor. And then using your cursor buttons, your directional buttons, you can either do entire lines or you can do one word at a time. And then to seal that highlight, just hit your select button again. And now it is underlined and that section of the book has been moved to your clipping section. To check that out, simply go back to home, go to your My Clippings, open that up, and you'll see it. It's the last one I highlighted. It's down here at the bottom of the page. So highlighting books and taking notes is just that easy. Now, one of the things I've run into while reading in the past is running into words that I don't necessarily know what they mean. And when that happens, you got to go out, you got to go find your dictionary, you got to hunt down the word in the dictionary, then figure out what it means. Kindle makes that easy as well. Go into my book. Let's say I didn't know what the word headquarters meant. I just simply pull my cursor up next to the word headquarters, and then down at the bottom of my page, I get the definition right there for me. And if I want more than just what is here, I can press on this key and it'll take me all the way into the dictionary and I can get all the definitions, uses, and things like that. Another thing I like about this is the internet setting. Now, this is the Kindle with Wi-Fi plus 3G. Obviously, I'm logged into a Wi-Fi network right now, so I don't need my 3G. But the 3G for the Kindle isn't like the 3G for your standard tablet. It doesn't work off of Verizon or AT&T or anybody like that. It just works. I don't know how, I don't know why, it just does. Recently, I was in Jordan and I wanted to buy some books while I was out there. I logged it, I turned it on, my 3G logged in right away, and I was able to use it just the same as I do in the States. Now, how do I get into the Kindle store? How do I buy books? Well, you pull up your menu, just hit the menu button right there, and this little section pops up. To shop in the store, just go shop in Kindle store. And then that pops you into the store. And you can browse books, newspapers, magazines, Audible audiobooks, anything you can imagine, basically. And Kindle has, currently, as of today's date, Kindle has about 1.2 million books in their library, or in their bookstore. So chances are you're not going to run out of stuff to read. Another thing you can do, Kindle storefront, if you want to go into books, newspapers, magazines, you can read blogs from this. You can go to the books that Amazon recommends for you based off your buying history, your wish list, and your recent history, which is the books you've recently purchased. So that's the Kindle library. Now, one of the other features that you'll notice with the Kindle, vice other e-readers or a tablet, is the liquid paper. All right, this isn't backlit, so for those of you that have sat in front of a computer all day or read a book on your e-read or on your tablet or something like that, you notice you start to get eye strain. Your eyes start to hurt, they feel swollen, you get headaches. Not going to happen with the Kindle. Like I said, I typically read for an hour or more at a time, and I never suffer from eye strain. Now, while that's a plus, one of the negatives of the liquid paper aspect is, just like any other book, you need light to read. And I'm going to show you something cool in regards to that here in a little bit, once we actually get off the Kindle itself. Now, one other aspect about the Kindle that I really like is that you can personalize it. And when I say you can personalize it, I mean you can personalize books. Everyone's got their own preferences as to whether or not they like the print size, spacing, line spacing, whether or not you want the book to read to you. And you can do all that with the simple press of a button, which is this one right here. And that pressing that pulls up that menu. Now, with this, I can change the size of my font. And you can see it in the back, right behind the menu. It starts to get larger. And larger. And larger still. And even bigger. That's a little bit ridiculous as far as size goes, but or you can get as small as you want. It's all up to you, the individual. Now you can also have you can also change the typeface, whether it be regular, everything's condensed so it's kind of right on top of each other, or sans serif. So it looks like that right there. I like regular. You can go to line spacing, large, medium, small. I like mine large. That's what medium looks like. That's what small looks like. Words per line. Mine's a default based off the size of the text, but we can go fewer, fewest. Text to speech you can turn on if you want. And then
headquarters. But lack of time is not a valid excuse for poor training. It is, however, a common excuse of weak commanders who do not analyze the training situation confronting them, who do not think through courses of...
Then the book starts to read to you. And you have the option of being able to change the pace, the tempo of the reader. You can either even change the voice between whether you want a male or female reader. And the last one, you got screen rotation. I like to read with mine vertical. You can go horizontal if you want. So it ends up looking like that. Or the other way. So that's it. That's the major basic functions of the Kindle, and some of the reasons why I really like it, why it's become an invaluable tool for me, and it's greatly enhanced my life and my abilities to read as much as I want to. As I mentioned before, with the Kindle you need to have light to read, but that doesn't always work. Sometimes you're camping and you want to read a book. You're out in a park and it gets dark. Your significant other goes to bed before you do, and you want to be able to read while he or she sleeps, but you don't want to have light on in the room. Well, Amazon has partnered with a bunch of different companies, and they've helped provide that solution as well. And that solution is in the form of this cover. Now, this is a leather-bound cover, but it has a built-in light. And it fits the Amazon Kindle. And it just goes on. Nice and easy. And the light itself runs off the battery of your Kindle. So as I pull out, when my Kindle's turned on, the light's on and it just shines on the screen. So my screen's lit and I'm not disturbing anybody else around me. When I turn it off, the light turns off. It just packs back away inside the back of the cover here. Close it up, seal it up, and now not only do I have a nice fancy little cover that makes it look like I have a leather-bound book, but I have something to keep my Kindle safe and protected as well. So that's it. That's my review of the Amazon Kindle. If I piqued your interest, or it's something that you think you want to look into further, there is a link including the written review of everything we just talked about in the description. So check it out. Till next time, everybody.